Hi, everybody. It's Leslie with the New Mexico Small Business Development Center. I've got Eric Spellman here today. He is going to be, he's got a lot of stuff to go over today. I want to remind everyone, type your questions into the Q&A because he will be answering throughout this webinar, but there's a lot of content to get through. This is how to convince your followers to share your post, the viral secret. Eric, take it away.
Okay, I hope y'all are ready. Hope you got your thinking caps on and maybe you've emptied a little bit of your memory storage because I got a lot to give you. So listen up. And I promise you, you haven't seen this anywhere else. A lot of this is psychological. But trust me, if you learn this, and I promise it's ground zero, you will succeed at getting people to forward your stuff. So let's jump into it. You know, when we talk about getting people to forward our stuff or promote ourselves or to promote us, how do you convince someone to do it? I mean, there's the obvious way of just telling them to do it. But there's another way. Many times the stuff you share online is stuff you just found and you thought it was funny. You thought it was interesting and you shared it. We're going to talk a little bit more about what goes into that thought process, because here's what we want. We want people sharing what you post, not just what everyone else does. So listen up. There's a lot to share. First, you've got to realize why sharing is so important. Okay. It's all about reach. And that's a word you've heard me say before. Let's talk about what reach is. When you hear the word reach, and usually it's in terms of Facebook, but we're starting to see it expand to other social media platforms. When you hear the word reach, all it means is how many people saw your post? How many people did you reach with it? How many people did your post show up in their feed? Okay, that's what we're talking about, reach. And trust me, we want as big a reach as we can get. And keep in mind, a lot of these social media platforms have reduced reach, okay? Usually to make money, which we talked about in the last video. So doing whatever you can to increase that reach is going to be key. Also remember, when you convince someone else to share your post, cost you nothing at all to promote. Because remember, when someone shares your post, what does that mean? It means they take your post and they share it with every one of their friends. It can go exponential. It really can. And it costs you nothing. I know a lot of companies who, because they had a viral post, it got shared so many times, they got so much promotion, they made so much money, got so much business, and it cost them nothing. Okay, that's what this presentation is about. Also remember that it brands you. Branding is key. Branding is key. Branding is key. In other words, people remembering who you are and what you sell. You want to be branded. You want people to think of you when they have a need for which you make a product or service for. But most importantly, it contributes to top of mind. You know, and I've explained this one before, but for those of you who may be new, top of mind, which is short for top of mind awareness, means that when someone thinks of your industry, whoever comes up first in their mind, that's who they usually go to, the top of their mind. A good example is pizza. If I were to say, let's go have some pizza, you immediately thought of a pizza place. Now, it may be a local place you had great experience at, or it may be a national chain who just advertises so much you can't get them out of your head. But either way, that pizza place has top of mind awareness for you. What we want is for your company to be top of mind awareness for everybody else, so that when they think of the type of product or service you sell, they think of you. That's our goal here, folks. And once again, if you do it right, it costs you nothing. Like I said, ask questions at any time. The first question we have is basically, what is going viral? When people talk about going viral, what does that actually mean? You know, when you want to, trust me, you want something to go viral. Viral is a good thing. It's not like recent events where a virus is a bad thing. when we talk about the online world, viral simply means it spreads and multiplies without you having to do a thing. You start it, you're the typhoid Mary, so to speak, but everyone else shares it, and then those people share it, and it moves on. When people share your post, you're hitting a brand new audience. You're hitting brand new people that know nothing about you, and this is their first impression. That's why coming up with a good post to share is key. You share it, and then those people share it over, rinse, repeat, over again until eventually it just dies off. Some sharing lasts for a day. Some viral stuff lasts for a day and it's over. Some last for a week. You just don't know sometimes how it's going to go. And if it really spreads far enough, that's when you start to get national attention. That's when some of the national news organizations maybe throws it up there. Hey, what's everyone talking about? Well, it's this. And when that happens, you get a whole nother set of promotion that would have cost you way more than you could have afforded. So I'm not promising you that what you're going to post is going to go national. Okay. But I can show you is all of the ingredients, the key ingredients of every other viral post that's ever been made. In other words, why they went viral. I can tell you why they went viral, and I can tell you how to put something together. But the key is going to be your content. What is viral not? Well, first, it's not lucky. It's not one of those things where, oh, wow, my competitor made that post and it's got billions of likes on it. They're so lucky. No, it's not lucky. It's not lucky. And once you hear this presentation, you'll understand why. It's not random either. It's not, well, that's just random. It happened to us, but we can't make it happen again. All the planets aligned and we had something go. No, it's not random either. The other thing I hear is, well, we don't have a bunch of social media wizards who can make it go viral. I'm not technical. I'm not a nerd. I can't do this. No, if you're a small business owner, you can do this. Okay. You don't have to be a techie to make this happen. And trust me, some of the biggest viral media successes for companies has occurred by people who really didn't even understand social media. And then, of course, some people say it's unpredictable. Well, to a degree, the level of sharing may be unpredictable, but we can usually know based on how we put together a social media post that it's going to go at least a little viral. Okay. So it's not wholly unpredictable. But first, let's spend a little time on psychology. I tell people all the time, if you want to understand marketing, if you want to sell your products, go take a psychology course. You need to understand what motivates people, what makes them do what they do, what makes them read a post, what makes them share a post, what makes them happy, what makes them sad, what excites them, what turns them off. You need to understand that if you're a business owner. And I only had one psychology course, a basic psychology course in college. But I'm here to tell you that because I went into marketing, it was probably the most useful knowledge I ever brought with me out of college. So let's start at the beginning. Psych 101. All human beings have a need. In fact, some people call it the biggest need, the need for relevance, the need to matter. Every human being on the planet must have a need to matter. Because if they don't, there's no point in living. You follow me? So everyone needs a reason. Everyone needs something. Everyone needs to be relevant. And they need for other people to see them as relevant. Okay? Everyone has that need. Every human being. It is one of our most base needs. And some people are going, okay, I get that. But what does that have to do with social media? Watch and learn. The key is you need to feel that you matter. You need to feel that you matter. And what we're going to do is we're going to help people feel that they matter. People tell us we matter. We don't get that from within usually. We usually need secondary sources for that. We need other people in our life to tell us that we matter. We need, even if we have a high sense of, self-confidence, we still need other people to build that up and remind us that, yes, we are correct in our belief that we matter. So the only way you're going to feel that you matter is if every once in a while you hear it, or maybe a lot that you hear it. And that's what we seek. And that's what you need to realize is that every single one of your customers is seeking relevance. They are seeking the need to matter. Now, some of y'all are going, Eric, I'm still not seeing the connection. Hold on. We got to get you there. Okay. This is where it starts from. And when you make your social media posts, you've got to start from this mindset or it won't work. Your goal with every social media post is that when someone finishes reading it, whatever they do, they're going to feel that they are relevant. And that brings me to social currency. I've referenced this before, but I don't think I've gone into as much depth as I'm about to, okay? Because there's a concept you need to understand called social currency. Why do we forward jokes on? Why do we share anything? It's like, okay, like you're standing in a group of people and you share a joke. Why did you do that? You went out on a limb, you told a joke. Why did you do that? Because you wanted people to laugh. But let's put that another way. Why did you want people to laugh? What possible use could you have with someone laughing at your joke? You're actually meeting that need we just talked about. Because when people laugh at your joke, they are basically paying you in social currency. Applause, like at a theater, laughter at a joke, a like on social media, even a share, is evidence that what you said was relevant. Why do performers perform? Some people say they have a passion for acting or a passion for performing, but also they sure like getting their social currency, applause. Why do you think they bow? Okay. What happens if you perform and no one claps? You didn't get any social currency. You didn't get paid, technically. And so people tend not to do things where they're not going to get social currency. They tend not to step out and take a chance. If there's a chance they won't get paid in social currency. If there's a chance people won't laugh or clap or somehow show them that they appreciated what they just said or did. So realize that social currency is being passed all the time, even at the water cooler in your own office. And you just say something funny to someone and they laugh, guess what? You just got a few pennies. You just got a little social currency. It made you smile, made you feel, you know what? I got it. I'm funny. I'm relevant. I matter. Everyone wants to be paid. And that's what you don't realize. Everyone wants to be paid in social currency. People want it. They strive for it. They need it. They desire it. They must have it. And the fact that you look at someone and you think they don't, not true. It's one of the most base human needs. And people may act like they don't, you know. Oh, I'm going to go give $1,000, but I don't want to tell anyone who I am. Yeah, there are people like that who can do that. But guess what? In their mind, they're still getting social currency. Might be spiritual, but it's social currency. Call it karma, call it what you want. But there's an expectation in every human being's mind that when they put something out there, they want something in return, and hopefully positive. So the two key obvious things that we show as evidence of, receiving social currency are laughter and applause. Those are two big channels of it, of receiving it. And so those are often tied to performers, okay, or speakers, if you will. But it goes even further than that. You got to realize what people want to share, especially on social media. Okay. There's only two types of posts. Pay attention. Two types of posts that people share on social media. It's either entertaining or it's educational. That's it. If what you're posting to Facebook, if what you're posting to Instagram, if what you're posting to social media is not entertaining or it's not educational, you are wasting your time. I can't tell you how many people come up to me and I'll say, and they say, my social media is not really working for my business. And I'll say, well, describe the typical posts that you post. And what is it for? And they say, well, it's informational. It's informational about our company. And I'm like, well, no wonder you're boring. Okay, I don't say that. That would be mean, right? But in my mind, I'm thinking that's boring as heck. No one goes to social media to just read for the sake of reading. No one. We go there to either be educated or entertained. That's it. There is no other reason. Okay. And the beautiful thing about it is, if you can come up with a post that is not just one of those, but both, then you can have what I call edutainment. And that is like the holy grail of this whole thing. And something that is edutainment many times will go viral simply because it checks both boxes. Okay. When I say educational, because a lot of people ask me about education, it's got to be something they actually want to know about. I don't want someone teaching me Latin history if I'm not interested in Latin. You follow me? And so understanding what is funny and also understanding what people want to know is a big piece of this. Just remember, if you want to sum it up in two little words, the L's, people either want to laugh or learn, learn or laugh. That's it. And you need to ask yourself, will this post that I'm about to post to Facebook or wherever, will it make someone laugh or will it help them learn? You've got to ask yourself that. And if the answer is, well, neither one, then don't post it. Complete waste of your time. And you end up being some of that garbage that people just scroll past. And you know what I mean. You've been on Facebook and you're sitting there on your phone scrolling, and I can see you even across the room. You're doing this. You're not even stopping. And that's because you're skipping past stuff that does not interest you. We don't want that. We want them to stop. We want them to read. We want them to watch. We want them to experience. And we want them to share it. Which brings up another point. You've got to understand your motives versus their motives. In other words, why you post what you post versus why they read what you post. It's different. And what I mean by that is the reason you're posting for your business is what? You want more business. You want to make money. You want sales. You want customers focused on you. You want branding. That's your motive. That's why you made the post. But that's not why they read it. They want social currency. Deep down, they want social currency. And if they feel that your post will give them social currency, if they forward it on, if they share it out, if they feel that they will receive social currency by doing that, guess what they will do? Share it. So remember, your goals and their goals are different. And you can't design a post that only meets yours because no one will read it. No one cares. But on the flip side, You can't design a post that doesn't mention your company. You can't design a post that may be hilarious as all get out, gets forwarded 1 billion times. But if your company isn't mentioned, you get no promo. You get nothing. If people can't connect that viral post with your company or your products and services, it was a waste of time, no matter how much it went viral. So remember, you have got to balance your content to have both branded content for who you are and what you do, and sharing content, viral content that people will share to their friends. Any questions so far? Feel free to use the chat to ask a question if you'd like.
We don't have any questions so far, but if anyone also wants to raise their hand, I can allow them to speak.
Yep, either way, we make it easy here. The key is give them a post that helps them meet that need for social currency. It really is. When you write your post, you're not writing for you. There is a goal, but you've got to make it, you've got to write it to excite them. And you almost have to run it by someone else the first few times before you kind of pick it up and understand it. You need to run it by other people and say, okay, would you share this or not? And I would run it by people who'll tell you straight. He'll give you the straight story, not one of your employees. Your employees always want to make you happy. And so if you ask them, would you share this? Yes, boss. Whatever. No, give readers a post that helps them meet their need for receiving social currency. Ask people to share. Ask people to share. Oh, do we have a question?
Yeah, let's see what we got. Okay. So they're asking to give examples of successful companies who know how to do this well. If we do give examples, of course, we're going to have to give at least 3 different examples. So do you have any examples?
Yeah, of
Eric?
course I do.
Okay.
I have examples, and my company will be one of them. But I'll give you an easy example. And this is an example you can prove really quick. There is a company who makes blenders, okay? And I think I told this story before. And they're very specialized blenders. These blenders are industrial practically. I mean, they look about the size of a kitchen blender, but they're for clubs and restaurants. Okay. And they're expensive blenders. I mean, we're talking $300 to $500 blenders. And the reason they're so expensive is because they're very tough blenders. I mean, you got to realize that in a restaurant or in a nightclub, they make most of their money from drinks. And the most profit comes from frozen drinks. And that's because they have to put less liquor in the drink. It's all ice, it's all water. And so it's very cheap to make. So a bar or a club wants to sell as many frozen drinks, like a frozen margarita, which we have tons of those here, or a restaurant, may want to sell Cokes and stuff with lots of ice in them because they make a ton of money. A restaurant and clubs make all their money on drinks. Okay, believe it or not, a restaurant makes its highest profit margins on drinks. Those $2 iced teas you're getting. So when you make a frozen drink and you need to put a big thing of ice in it in a blender, and turn it on, what you want is you would like those blades in that blender to chop that ice up and make a frozen drink. What happens when you buy a blender, from just a normal store, a household blender, you throw a big hunk of ice in there, it's going to jam or the blades will break. And if the blades break on a blender at a club or nightclub, especially on a Friday, they're going to lose a ton of money. So they're willing to spend extra money on one of these blenders. Well, there is a company out there, and you'll find them. All you have to do is search on Will It Blend. Okay, Will It Blend is the name, is what they go by. And the name of the company is like Blendco or Blend something. Anyway, the owner of this company didn't have a lot of money. And he wanted to get out the fact that his blenders were tougher than anything out there. And he wanted to sell these to restaurants, but he didn't have a large budget for promotion nationally. So what he did was he made YouTube videos and he created a fake laboratory, and he put on a lab coat, making himself a fake scientist. And he's has these little YouTube, and you can look him up on YouTube. Just look up Will It Blend. And on YouTube, like I said, he's pretending to be this lab guy doing a test called Will It Blend. And what he'll do is he'll take these random objects, like even a cell phone, and drop it in a blender, put the lid on, and like it's a totally legit experiment, he'll then hit blend and he'll stand there. And you will watch on video on YouTube while this blender actually blends a phone or a tree branch or Bic lighters. I mean, he has a lot of these videos out there where he's blending crazy stuff. And so what he does is he puts it in there and it blends until it turns a powder. It doesn't take long. And then he takes it, dumps it on the table, and it goes, yes, it blends. And that's the end of the video. That's it. He really doesn't talk about his company that much. The whole video is basically, will it blend? Sure did. That's it. But these videos went viral. These videos went totally viral. And my question to you is, because I can give you examples all day long, but if you don't understand why it went viral, then the examples don't matter. I told you that everyone on the internet has two goals. They either want to be entertained or educated. In this case, it's entertained. And because a lot of people don't realize, people like watching stuff get destroyed. People love watching buildings get demolished or watching stuff get destroyed. For whatever reason, we like watching that. And so these videos, people were just amazed that someone was putting these crazy things in a blender. And they watched it and they shared it, and it spread and spread and spread. And now his company does quite well, and it's a national company. And all they did was open a free YouTube account and come up with a great idea. That's one example. There'll be another one a little bit later, but I want to get to some of these others. Ask people to share. One of the biggest things you can do is ask people to share. Tell them to share it. But once again, only if it's worth sharing. Don't tell people to share something dumb like, hey, here's a lot of people who work at my company. Aren't they cool? Share it. Why? Why would I share that? I'm not going to get any social currency from that. No one's going to laugh at that. And no one cares who else works at your company like that. You follow me? Especially if they don't know you. Now, if they know you, they might. But if they don't know you, they don't care. Ask people to share, but only if it's something shareable. Was there another question?
Well, I think it's kind of the same thing, is that they're asking for as many examples as possible. So I think what they're asking for is how to search to find examples so they can learn from them.
Well, here's the key. The danger you run into is you'll find an example of someone doing it online and you'll copy it and you won't get the same results. The key is it has to tie directly with your product. It has to tie directly with what you do. There's I mean, examples of this go even before the internet. I mean, in order for you to get this, I'll give you another example. When I was in school, and I mean elementary school, I learned a little something, and it goes like this. 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Now, how do I still remember that? How did I learn that? That's actually that's a Big Mac from McDonald's. And McDonald's had a commercial that they ran over and over and over where people were singing that little ditty. 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Can't even do it fast enough now. And it caught. And people started sharing it. And me and my friends would share it try to say it to each other in school. Why? We didn't realize that at the time, because we wanted our friends to be impressed. We wanted them to laugh. We were looking for social currency, and McDonald's gave us something that would give us social currency. You follow me? Don't limit yourself to the internet on this. You need to realize that this is marketing 101. The examples aren't just tied to the internet. Okay. That's one that was pre-internet. It's like I said, you have to ask yourself, if I post this, will it make someone feel like they will get social currency if they share it? I have some more coming up. So if you ask them to share it, there's different ways to do it. You can say, share if you. That's a good start on some of this. Okay. So it might be like, share if you are the same way, or share if you know. This is one of my favorites. Share if you know someone who needs to see this. That's my favorite, because that's got some built-in motivation. Because it makes you think, is there someone I can share this with? And most people are going to think yes, and they're going to share it. So I really like the share if you know someone, okay, who needs to see this. And I guarantee you, if you've been on social media, you've seen that line used, and it's a very powerful line. The other one is share with. So share if you know someone, or share with someone. I'd even shorten this a little more. Share with your accountant friends, share with your church friends, share with. It's a way of actually telling them who to share with. And a lot of times it'll motivate them to actually do it, because you're telling them who to share with, and you give them a reason to. And you're basically saying, hey, chances are you're going to get social currency if you share this. Spend time on a title, spend time on a title, spend time on a title. This is huge. This one is bigger than almost anything else, because a lot of people will choose to read something based on a title. Okay. It could be a title of a video that you want them to share. It could be the title of a post. It could be the title of a blog. It could be anything. But the title is what they scan. I mean, when you got to remember, people scan, they don't read anymore. That's one of the things you need to understand about the internet. People don't read anymore, they scan. And that's because we have too much information to try to read it all. And I can prove that's true. When you land on someone's website, do you immediately read everything on the first page? No, you don't. You scan it. You give it 5 seconds. And you scan it from top left to bottom right, and your eyes are looking for either a picture or a phrase or a word or something saying you're in the right place. And if you don't see that in the first 5 seconds when you land on a website for the very first time, guess what you're probably going to do? Go back. No one reads, they scan. So coming up with a good title, because a lot of people will choose whether to read it based on a title. Email is the best example of this. If you want someone to read your email, it's all in the title. It's all in the title. I would spend 60 to 70% of my time coming up with the title, and the other 20% or so writing the email. I'm being serious. If they don't open the email, what was the point? I mean, you can think back to the old days where we got people to open up mail, actual physical mail from the US Postal Service, by writing on the envelopes, and you may have already won and stuff like that. It's the same concept. We're just doing it with email. And on email, we can't write on the outside of the envelope. All we can do is change the title. So in the titles, I like using numbers if you can. And I talked about this a little bit not too long ago, where, we're talking about having a top 10 list, or 5 ways, or 10 signs, or 13 warnings, or whatever. Put a number in. The reason I recommend putting a number in it, you put a number in your title, you'll automatically get more people reading it. Why? And that's because it goes back to psychology. The human mind sees value in numbers, because a number is quantity, and the human mind sees value in quantity. And they know that getting 10 of something is better than 5 of something. And so if I had a title, 5 ways to succeed, or I chose ways to succeed, which one do you think someone's going to read? Ways to succeed or 5 ways to succeed. That's because they see value in numbers. Use numbers in your titles. Remember, our goal is to get this to go viral. Use curiosity. Tease them. That's why we call them teasers. Okay. Yeah, you'll notice on TV, even they do it. You know, to get you to watch the next episode of a series you're on, what will they do? They'll show you a teaser. And in that teaser, they will show you some of the best stuff, believe it or not. And I'll be honest with you, the true secret of coming up with a good teaser that makes people want to do something is to actually show them the best there is, not pieces that were irrelevant. Like, for instance, let's say you had a video and you have a 5-minute video. You pick the best lines out of that video and make that in your teaser, even if it gives some of it away. Because what will happen is it'll make people watch it who wouldn't have watched it before. And then we'll watch it from beginning to end. Use curiosity. Use curiosity. Use curiosity to get them to do it. By the way, in the Will It Blend videos, that's exactly what they do. They use curiosity. They tell you up front what they're about to blend. And curiosity drives you to watch it. How-to videos. I love this. Do you know what the top searches on YouTube are, or even Google at this point? They either start with how do I or how to. The top searches on YouTube for sure are either how do I or how to. People are wanting to educate themselves. They're wanting to learn how to do something. And they've discovered that YouTube is practically college. YouTube will find the answer to everything. Everything from how to unstop a sink all the way up to, how do I understand metaphysics? It's all out there. You just have to search for it. And so how-to videos get watched a lot, and how-to blogs and how-to posts on social media, they get watched and read a lot. Because what did I tell you? When people either want to learn or laugh or learn. And if you teach them something cool and in a cool way, and if it's mildly entertaining, they will share it, which is your goal to begin with. You can also use fear. Okay, well, we have a question.
We have a hand raised, so let Daniel, I'm going to allow Daniel to talk. Okay. Daniel, you are now allowed to talk if you'd like to unmute.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I've talked to you before about this, but so the title of my book, which I want to market, is Pain Relief in 3 Seconds. So you're telling me I should change it to How to Treat Pain in 3 Seconds? Would that be more?
No. Shorter titles are always better. And I actually like your title. I really do. But if you were to hire me and you wanted me to help you come up with a better title, then what I would probably say is this. You do use a number in it, pain relief in 3 seconds. And what people will do is they will see that and they're going to tie into that 3 seconds and go, wow, how's that possible? And that's the curiosity. So I already like your title. To me, it's pretty much there.
Okay.
It's the pain relief I would change. Okay. Because pain relief, no one uses those phrases except medicine companies. No one uses that phrase except medicine companies. Pain relief. That's not how we talk to each other. That's not how we say that we're hurting to each other. I need pain relief. No, you don't say that. So I would want to come up with better wording on that part and maybe some more stronger wording on that part that would do it. And really, what I would do is if I were, and I'll just use you as an example, if I were trying to sell my book, then what I would do is I would take some of the best pieces from it and create an article, a post, or take one piece from it, a key piece though, and make a post, a short post about it. But then the link will be to Amazon, to your book, or however they're going to buy it. You follow me? or
Right.
to your page that talks more about it and shows your expertise. But I would so change that title to something amazing.
Stop
Know,
pain in
like
3 seconds.
right, like like lose your migraine in 3 seconds. Here's how.
Okay.
Do you see the difference?
Yes. Yes.
Because people, you got to talk like people talk. You've got to use words that will connect to people and grab them and won't let them go. And I'll be honest, pain relief ain't that.
Okay.
I'm not trying to make fun. I'm just saying
Right.
no one words except Tylenol. Okay.
Thank you.
Great example.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Don't forget to mute. Okay. The next thing is use fear. Now, some of y'all are going, what? Eric, this is starting to sound not very good. This is starting to sound not very, shall we say, ethical. Are you telling us that we need to scare people to share stuff? Yes. Let me explain why. I like to use realty examples, okay? Because realtors are just really good at this kind of thing, and they already are using it. And if you start thinking, people already are using it. How do people sell life insurance? How do they sell it? Okay. They sell it based on fear. They show a commercial of, and they play dramatic music and they say, what would your family do if you weren't here? And they show your kid with a tear in his eye. And they show your wife wondering how she's going to pay the bills. You see what I'm saying? They're using fear, and they're using fear to grab you. Okay. Now, if you fear for you, you're going to fear for others many times, and it can be a reason to share it. We've seen examples of that back during this pandemic, is whenever people would post something on social media that was scary, a lot of people would share it because it was scary. It works. I'm not saying lie at all. Please don't hear that. But I'm telling you, fear and greed are the two biggest things that move people. They really are. Greed is the second one. Greed means you want something you don't currently possess. Okay. That's why I call it greed. Okay. You want something you do not currently possess. So if your post shows me how to get rid of a headache, I could want that. You follow me? I would want that. I would want that knowledge. That knowledge has a value. And so I would read your article. Okay. People want things, and you got to realize everyone wants something. And you've heard me talk about this before. Every decision you make in your life is based on only two things. Every decision you make in your life is only based on two things: fear and greed. Even having to go to the bathroom, okay, it's the same thing. It's pain, if you will. We make everything based on pain or fear or greed. We want something we don't currently have. So you need to look at your own product and say, do people use my product or service because they're trying to avoid pain or not be scared? Or are they or do they need my product because it's something they've always wanted and never had? You follow me? Figure out which one of those are, and you'll be well on your way to making good titles. And yes, if you start watching TV commercials, a lot of us skip over them, right? I would recommend, if you want to get good at marketing, start watching TV commercials. And if you want to get really good at marketing, and some of y'all are going to laugh when I tell you this, if you want to get really good at marketing, watch infomercials. That's right. The ones that come on after 10 o'clock at night and sell you copper pans. Or a Snuggie. I'm telling you, you may laugh at the products, but the marketing behind them is the best you will ever see. And that's because the sole purpose of those infomercials is to convince you to pick up the phone. You watch the words they use, you watch the pictures they show, you watch how they use fear and greed. You watch it and you'll see it's a masterpiece. I'm telling you, infomercials, I learned so much from infomercials that apply to websites, social media. It's amazing. Don't laugh them off. The people who work there are brilliant. Products may not be, but the marketing is. Tag strategically. Okay, now this is another big one to get something to be shared a lot. And this actually happened to me. So you're about to hear another example. When we talk about tagging, what do we mean by that? You got to realize there's basically two tags out there. Okay, there's a hashtag, also what a lot of us call the pound sign or the number sign. You know, it was on the old telephones of old, you know, that pound sign. Well, that's actually called a hashtag on the internet. Okay. When you see a hashtag followed by something, that is telling you that this post is about something. Okay. It's like it's a theme, it's about that. When you see an @ sign, and typically you'll see this on Instagram and some of the others and Twitter and stuff like that. When you see an @ sign, the A with the circle around it, you're basically sending a copy of this to that person, to that account. It's guaranteed to show up in their feed. Now they may skip past it, but you're guaranteed that it's going to show up in their feed. So the best way to describe this is kind of like reality TV. Okay. When you watch reality TV like Survivor, you know, or what's the Race Around the World one? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, if you watch closely during the show, down at the bottom, you'll see hashtags fly up. Hashtags the company who made the show will put up certain hashtags. And the reason they do that is because they know that most people today, when they watch TV, have their phone right next to them. We call them two screens. Okay. TV watching has changed, and most people watch TV today with two screens, one in front of them, and the other is their phone or a tablet, and they're kind of switching back and forth, and they're on them anyway. And so the people who made reality TV realized that. So they started coming up with hashtags. And what happened was, when something big would happen on their show, they would flash up a hashtag. Someone would go out there and do a search on that hashtag, find all the conversations about that show and join in. It was a way to make it interactive during a live TV show, or at least when it was being shown. So an ad is an account, or it's a certain person or a particular company. The hashtag is about, and a hashtag can be anything you want it to be. And people put them in there so they can be found. You can tag a business. Excuse me. You can tag a celebrity. Now, depending on how popular they are, they may not see it, okay? But you never know. Here's my story about how something I did went viral. So I'm in LA. I'm in Los Angeles, and we're sitting in a restaurant, and I'm the restaurant we go to. I guess I got to tell you this up front. The restaurant in LA we ate at was called Sur, S-U-R, which is like Latin for ocean or Spanish for ocean or something. Anyway, it's called Sur. It's a very nice restaurant. And the reason my partner and I are even there is because of the owner. Now, the owner of Sur is Lisa Vanderpump. Now, some of you may be familiar with that name, and that's because for the longest time, she was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yes, now you know my secret. I watched that show. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She also had her own show about her own restaurant too. Okay, Vanderpump Rules. So if you're into those shows, you know Lisa Vanderpump and you know that restaurant, the Sur, and they showed it all the time. So we went in there and we wanted to eat there just to say we did. So we sit down and we eat, and I thought, okay, just being here is the cool part, the atmosphere, but the food was actually amazing. I mean, the food was off the charts. I love the food. And so I pulled out my phone and I tweeted. Hey, thank you. And then I put @ Lisa Vanderpump for an amazing eating experience. The food was amazing. I highly recommend it. I am here at Sur. So I put @ in SUR, which is their account for the restaurant. But then I said, thank you @ Lisa Vanderpump, because I was wanting my post to show up in the restaurant, wanted to let them know I really appreciated it, but also Lisa Vanderpump, who owned it. So I tweeted that and didn't think twice about it. 5 minutes later, my phone blows up. Turns out Miss Lisa Vanderpump, who has millions of Twitter followers, retweeted my post. She actually saw it and retweeted it to her millions of fans. I got 1,000 followers overnight. Hear that? I got 1,000 followers simply because I tagged her, if you will. Okay? I'm telling you, share other people's posts. This is a big one. If you want people to share yours, you need to start sharing some others, but be careful. Okay? People appreciate it when you share their posts. I mean, think about it. Anytime you've made a post, maybe you had a meme, maybe you had a joke, you posted it. When you saw that someone else shared it, it kind of made you feel good, didn't you? Well, like I said, you felt good because it's one of your basic human needs that I explained earlier. They gave you social currency by sharing it. And now your post with your name on it is going to be seen by a lot more people. One of our local Black Lives Matter parade. And he just took a picture. He jumped out. The parade was coming down the street. He took a picture of it and posted it to his account. He got over 1,000 shares. It went national. I mean, the key is what you post. The key is it relevant? Is it going to make people feel like they're going to get some sort of social currency out of it? People appreciate it. You're going to get follows out of it. That's your goal. And a follow, think of it as a like, a friend, someone who's going to hear from you in the future. Your goal is to build your base so that every time you post, more people are seeing it. So you got to realize, and when you decide you're going to put up a post, you got to ask yourself this question. Am I probably going to get more followers out of this? Will this post make someone want to share it? Will this post make someone laugh? Will it teach them something? And if the answer is no, don't post it. Don't post it. I swear some people think you need to post everything, and that's not true at all. And they overpost, and then people are like, they're just trashing out my feed, I'm going to unfollow them or snooze them for 30 days. So people appreciate it, gets follows, they share it, and reciprocation. I'm telling the law of reciprocation, which is another bit of psychology you as a business owner need to understand. For those of you who don't know, the law of reciprocation is that if I do something for you, you feel a need to return the favor or to do something for me. It's kind of like someone invites me over for dinner, to a dinner party. So what do? I bring a bottle of wine. You see what I'm saying? They honored me by inviting me to their party. I feel I need to reciprocate. I feel in debt that I need to pay, or at least show some sort of repayment. And so I bring a bottle of wine. When you share other people's, here's what it gets down to. If you share other people's stuff, it's going to make them want to share yours. They're going to feel a need to share yours when you do make a post. I'm not saying share everything you see from everybody. By God, please don't do that. But don't be afraid to share someone else's stuff who may mean something to you in the future. And if they have a lot of followers, I know this is going to sound so shallow, but if they have a lot of followers, consider sharing their stuff. Because if they share yours, it's going to go to a large audience. Make it visual. Have a picture. You have to have posts that have pictures. If you want something to go viral, you got to have a picture that makes people stop. Think about it. You're scrolling through Facebook, and what happens? You don't stop. Why? Because nothing grabbed your attention. The sole purpose, people listen, focus. The sole purpose of a picture on a social media post is to make them stop scrolling. That's it. Now, I'm not saying put something inappropriate. I am saying put something that makes them go, what? Wait, what was that? Consider memes. Jokes, pictures that are jokes. Memes are really good to make people stop. And if you can tie a meme into what you're doing, all the better. Weird and wild, like I said, think outside the box on this. You might even do customer shots, but only if they're doing something funny or only if the person is famous. You know, if it's a famous national celeb who walked into your store, yeah. If I saw someone famous in your store, I'd want to read that. Things to remember. On Facebook, if you're trying to share something from your personal account, keep in mind, unless you set that post to public, people can't share it. Okay. I can't tell you how many times I've seen something really cool on someone's feed and there's no option to share it because it only went to their friends. Okay. Now, a business shouldn't be doing that. A business should have a page, and you'll always have the ability to share from a page. But if you're talking your personal account, you're saying, Eric, how come on some people's things I don't see the option to share? It's because they only shared it with their friends, and you can't share it because you'll probably be sharing it past their friends. You follow me? So make the post public, or set all your posts to public like I do. Give the post a call to action. If you're going to have a good post that goes viral, tell people to do something with it. Give us a call, print this out, bring it in, post this, sign this, do something. Always have a CTA, always have a call to action in your social media post. Remember, social media is not to inform people of anything. It's to get them to do something, okay? For your business anyway. That may just be walk through the door, or maybe buy this product. And finally, if you have some posts that are doing well virally, guess what? You stumbled upon a good post that people like. So throw some money at it and spread it even further. That is one of the biggest secrets I'm going to give today. When you find a post that was very popular, boost it. And we talked about that last week. Okay? Boost it. Throw some money at Facebook and get it seen by more people who will share it even more. It's like making your money work for you at that point. Okay, I think we have a few questions here at the end that we can.
We have
Like
a
I said,
couple-
I know some of y'all were wanting, like a whole list of examples. I mean, those are easy to find if you just Google successful viral business, campaigns. But I really want you to see the makings of it, because I don't want you to copy someone else. One of the things that makes something go viral is that it's unique. They've never seen it before. So look at the ingredients. Start back at the psychological basis we talked at, and put together a post that checks all those boxes. Go ahead.
And I was scrolling Facebook while you were talking. So I was kind of looking at what was making me stop and stop at that thing. And I think you're right about some of them. And it's nice to have a kind of a list. We will have this on demand coming up. And we also have Eric one more time this week on Friday. He's going to kind of finish this whole social media series that we've got going, and kind of, I think, putting everything together, which is really good. So again, if they have questions from this time, they can always bring them to you Friday, right, Eric?
Yeah, exactly. And I'll try to have some more examples maybe that maybe I can share with you during that one too.
Okay, so we're going to have this coming out in an email to everyone as wrap up. We have just about one more minute. If anyone has a quick question or wants to raise their hand real quick, I'll pause for just a minute. And then if not, we will see Eric on Friday.
Thank you all so much.
That's it. And remember, visit nmsbdc.org to sign up for the no-cost confidential counseling. So with that, we are at the end of our webinar. Everybody have a great day. Thanks, Eric.
See you later.